Hello all and welcome. Today I am taking a look at Mobile Markets, a smartphone Inc. game. Now, as CEO, we are competing with other smartphone manufacturers on the global stage. There's planning, there's research, marketing, pricing, production, and a host of other activity as we try to sell more and profit the most. Now, this one is medium complexity. It plays 1 to 4, takes about 40 to 80 minutes, and we can see the designer and all the publishers there as well. So let's take a closer look, folks. Okay, we have a two-player setup. We got the orange player, we got the blue player. You're going to keep track of how many phones you will be able to produce and hopefully sell to the open market or maybe the private market. You got your net profit tracked here. This is your lovely phone. You got a base cost. You might add various cards to make it more functional. You could have better sharing capabilities, maybe an 8K camera. So loads of goodies you can bolt on and add different specifications. You start off with one. We've got a 5G for these guys, and we've got the potential to fold our phone. You've also got these stars, which some customers are after as well. And you've got one of these sort of starting cards as well. You've got the initiative that will determine the lower the number, you will be first, and you start off at a price of 5. A blue what have we got? Blues will be first. Well, yellow's actually got a lower initiative of 1, and that will determine, for now, your starting location. Okay, so you've got these different areas to the rounds. You start preparation, you work your way from left to right. So the top is all about how that round will flow. At the bottom is the pricing structure from 2 all the way up to 8. Now there's 5 rounds, and that's dictated by these event cards. There's loads in the box. You shuffle them, take out 5 of those. Now, preparation then. I'll ignore the top part because that's not really going to happen on the first round. The main part is adding new customers. So you can see in a 2-player game, you're going to keep this one this way up, and it says how many customers you're going to be bringing out. Solo game, you got this one, and you got 3 and 4 on the back here. So we are going to be adding 2 of these green customers who like varied phones variety. And you've got this reference sheet here that gives you a nice guide as to what all the symbols do. And on the back, you can see the green of variety seeking. You've got regular customers and complex customers as well. So we are starting the game with 2 green. We've got 2 regular. And I should say this game is a table hog indeed. So I've got a lot of the cards just out of camera view. So you're going to flip these, and you're going to match up the red number to the price at the top. So these customers are willing to pay up to 2 for their phone. These guys will pay up to 4. We got up to 6. We got up to 8, and we've got another up to 8. So you need a good bit of space here to show all your customers. Right, next part then, we move over to planning. So each player has 2 of these sort of executive decision boards. You've got loads of symbols on either side. So what can you see then? This is a crate. It means if that's visible, you will be producing an extra good. You've got marketing, so more of these you can potentially buy these cards and build your engine at your organization. These ones are all about technology, and you want more of them, again, to make your phone better, have better innovations, more capabilities on the side you can buy. We have got these little price symbols, so the negative ones are going to reduce your price. You've got positive ones, so you're trying to make a combination. Now, some rules. The bottom one, you need to at least cover 1 spot. So you could put it like that maybe. You could maybe cover it like that. You can't cover the whole thing, and you can't just have 2 separate ones. You have to at least cover 1. So let's just say we randomly go for this one. Now this is done simultaneously. Once everyone's ready to reveal, you will reveal what you've done. So let's go with this one. Now there's a lot more to that than I just showed, because basically you're there umming and ahhing, right, am I going to want this configuration? I want to maximize how many of these symbols I can see, but I want these ones, but I don't want to influence my price. So you're constantly, trying to see which combination is best for your organization. Boom. We then move on to pricing, starting with the first player, which is yellows. Now, they look at the board. And we can see we are going up 2 in price. So we will go up to 7 and you take the furthest left spot. These guys have visible negative $1. So they're actually going down to $4. That is pricing, and that determines the new turn order, starting from the cheapest phone, which is now 4, up to 7. So blues and then yellows, and it depicts all this information and it lists it all very nicely on these various boards as you flow along. We have now entered technology, and it starts with the first player, which is blue. They look at their board, they got 3 symbols visible. They can buy up to 1 of these cards and or as many of these additional items as they can, as long as they can afford it. So this would cost free. It activates in the sales phase. You get to ignore one of these costs if your price is the 4 or lower. So maybe that's one we want to go for. We want some of these technologies. We want better functions on our phone to give our customers, more reason to come and buy our phone. So we've already got 5G. We're going to spend all free to get this function here. Now, what functions are you thinking about getting? When you're looking at these customers, these guys are willing to buy a phone up to the value of 2. Well, ours is priced at 4, so they're not interested. But they will buy a phone at any price if it has these functions here, which is a camera and the ability to fold. Now, could we acquire those? We could buy this for 2. But even so, they want both of them. So that customer is unattainable at the moment. These guys will pay up to 3, but we're priced at 4. Or if the phone has got a 3-star rating and it's got this function here at N, which could be this one, they might buy it, but we haven't quite got enough stars. These guys are willing to buy this phone because it's the right price, 4 and up to 4. Remember that one. These guys will pay up to 6, so they will buy this phone. Now that's important because you're trying to figure out, well, I can sell this number of products and I may be acquiring these customers here. And you might not actually really want to add many functions to your phone because it's just increasing the cost, which will make sense in a moment. So what are we going to get? We're going to just get something to demonstrate. Let's spend those 3 on this capability here. So we add this here. We're done. Over to these guys. We've got 2 visible, and maybe we just take a card here. Boom, pop this under here. That'll trigger in the sales phase. We now go to marketing, and it reminds you in reverse turn order. Yellows or oranges, whatever you want to call them, are up. They've got 3 symbols visible. They can buy 1 of these cards here. And let's say you go for this one. Now, if you've got any remainder symbols, so we only spent 1, the remainder you can spend to acquire private customers. So you've got 3 decks here, like we've already shown. You can take any combination if you want. So what did we say? We had 2 spare. Maybe we want to take one of these, one of these. Now, there's a lot more thought process to this than just grabbing them. I would probably go for regulars maybe. Well, not in this case because they'll probably be outpriced. The regulars tend to range on 4, 5, 6s. The greens around here and the complex customers are at the top. Okay, over to this player. In reverse order again, blue are going to spend just the 1. They could buy this one, but they're just going to take a customer private one, a blue one in this case. That is marketing. Production, starting with blue. You can do this simultaneously, this one, but you're going to figure out how many products you are producing. I completely forgot about the event card, folks. At the beginning of the round preparation, you're meant to reveal one of these events. Only high-tech left alive. The government supports a packaging of anti-crisis measures. You will ignore 1 cost. So these can have some massive sort of direction, influential direction as to what your game and what your company is trying to achieve. And equally, that would have brought out another customer as well. So something to think about and a good. So in terms of these events, they're not only giving you something to think about and change maybe the rule structure for that particular round, but they're bringing more customers out and another product as well. So where we're on production and we're with blues then, so how are you going to figure out how many phones you're going to produce? Now it says here nicely on your board, you look at the event card, boom, we've got 1. We've got 2 visible here, so we're up to 3. We have covered 4 spots. Not sure if I mentioned it, but the more spots you cover, it doesn't matter what the icon is, whether it's an actual production itself, but whatever symbol, you're going to get more products. So we're going to go up from 3, add in another 4. We can sell 7 products over to the orange player then. So they've got 1 product from the event card. They've got 1 visible here, and we are covering up 2 spots. So we're going up to 4 products we are trying to sell to the market then. Now we move on to sales. Starting with blues, they're going to create their product. So what have we got then? We're looking at our specifications and we have to bolt them on here first. Let's just say we go for 5. Well, let's go all out. We're going to, there's a lot of thought process as to what customers you're trying to achieve, and you might not necessarily need these on. You might, have no functions and these customers are happy to buy it, which means you've got a better net profit. But let's just demonstrate, the fun of adding some functions to our phone. Now, what is the costs then? So it says here, your set price. We're priced at 4, so we'll start off at 4 then. We then got to work out our manufacturing cost. So this phone has a base cost of 1, and then we can see 2 symbols there. So that's $3 for manufacturing. We're only at a net profit of 1. Now, if you had to put another card here, you can see this symbol would come into play. So that's another cost as well for jamming all that technology into your phone. Now, if I did not have these 2 cards, it would have been 4 as a price, and just the base cost. Our net profit would be free for each phone we sell. So you really have to be mindful of what technologies you add and don't be wasteful. You've got to target that market and sell them the right phones. Okay, next up, this player has determined the net profit. They're then going to sell. So we start with your private customers first. Can this customer, they will buy a phone up to the price of 6, they're priced at 4, boom, they've got one of these to their sales pile, 1 of 7 phones done. So we start then from left to right, bottom to top. Will these guys buy this phone? So it's too expensive. Does it have these capabilities? No, we don't have a camera function, and our phone is not foldable. Do we have 3 stars and do we have that capability? Well, we haven't got the 3 stars now. These guys will buy it. It's a price up to 4. These guys will also buy it. So we've got 3 customers so far. 7, they'll pay up to 7. Bargain for them. Plus, you need one of these. We do have 8K we can sell to them. We do have the price of 4. They're willing to pay that, but we don't have the 3 stars. And we don't have that one as well. So we have sold 4 phones to those customers. We then go over to these guys. So you do all of the sales for one player and then you move on. So they now have the luxury of seeing, well, what customers are left? Do I need to actually use this technology? And they've got a foldable phone. That is it. Remember, don't forget any little bonuses or any capabilities at the bottom on your cards. Now we're looking at our customer here. We may be in a bit of trouble, folks. Okay, so what we're going to do then, we're not going to add anything here. Our set price is way too high at 7, so we start out there. We've got a base cost of 1. We then look at our private customers. So we figured out our net profit. These guys will only pay up to 3. Too expensive. And we don't have camera function. And we don't have the stars. These guys have, we can meet the price, but we don't have these capabilities. So you have to try and complete your private customers first. No, they will not buy. They will not buy. And these will not buy as well. So it shows you the importance of getting the right technologies before your opponents to beef up this phone to match the demand. Otherwise, even though you've got this massive net profit of 6, you've sold no phones. So over to profit then. The blue player is up. Now they're going to get a bonus because they sold the most phones, which gives them the most market share. Reminds you on here, they're going to get 8 money. So you've got this sort of tracker on the side, which helps you keep track of your money of these tokens. You've got one down here for, every time you bump up here. And they're going to gain $8 for having the most market share. These guys, if they had have sold a phone, they would have got $4, but they didn't sell any. You then resolve any of these effects at the bottom that may give you profit. So you see profit here. They will take one private customer in green from the deck if they don't sell any product, and they didn't. So they'll save that for next round, as well as the ones that are acquired and not completed. And you then, once you've done all those bottom actions, you will multiply the phones you've sold. So what did these guys are? 1, 2, 3, 4 times your net profit is 4. Add that onto this sort of money tracker. These guys sold 0 times the 6. discard any of the customers into you've sold to, keep any ones that you've not managed to sell to, and then you move all the way back to preparation. Now bring your phones back to a value of 0. You do not keep the goods from round to round. You've wasted them, they've gone, nobody wants them anymore, and your net profit goes back to 0. Now what do we do? I mentioned there's a few things to do which you wouldn't necessarily do in the first round. You reset your price markers to 5. Now this is based on who has the lowest amount of money, which is essentially VPs. You'll never spend that money, it's just sort of VPs. So let's just say yellow, yep, they did not sell any phones. They go to number 5, remind you all on here, and they go to the furthest spot left, and then blue. We then reveal the top event card, so boom, we'll remember to do that this time. Now you will cover up the action, so you always kind of have them stacked like this, so you can see all of the customers that are now going to be coming out and all the extra bonuses. So you got these 2 goods, and then you read whatever this does, and that will come into play for this particular round. We'll then discard any of these cards that have been reduced from the previous round, and any of the ones, so they would all go. Any that remain, you put on these -1s to make them more attractive for the next round, and you refill these at 4, 4 and 6 at the end. You will then add the customers, so this time you've got 2 green customers coming out, you've got 1 of the regulars, and you've got 3 of those complex. You keep the existing ones there, and you just pile the others on at the matching prices. And then you move over, planning again. You use these boards, you decipher what you're going to do, over to pricing, sway these, determines new turn order, get your technologies, get your marketing in reverse order, figure out how much production you got, sell those phones and determine what specifications, get your profit. You keep going round 5 times because there's 5 event cards. You add up your money to here as you're progressively going along. Some of these cards have end game bonuses, very few of them do, but sometimes you can gain some sneaky money at the end. Whoever has the most money is the winner. There we go, folks. Enjoy.